Play.
That's where he doesn't want to be leaving the ball too often today. That is low-hanging fruit for Berrettini on the forehand side, and he can create a lot of magic off that forehand. Lots of different areas of the court that he can access with the huge spin rate and pace that he has on that forehand side.
$30 love.
An indication there of the ability of Berrettini to change the pace, and that's a weapon 15. In itself. He can rally out of nowhere. The racket head speed on his forehand wing increases, and he smashes that forehand, and it can shock an opponent at times. It might take a while for Andy to get used to that speed, but it's certainly an asset from Berrettini that Murray needs to be aware of.
Important, I think, as well, to actually get Berrettini to hit as many forehands from that part 15. Of the court. It's not as impressive when he's hitting it in the forehand side, and sometimes it's tough when you know that's the opponent's best shot to kind of force yourself to actually hit the ball there off a return like that. You almost want to guide it back to the backhand side, but that's where Berrettini will be lurking.
Like a great white shark, just lurking. Oh my goodness. Well, that's special. I was about to say excellent play from Murray. He took Berrettini out wide, as you 13. Suggested, Mark, and then for that one, and it looked like he was in control of the point. That's an exceptional shot. Great control. You can tell he enjoyed it.
Game Murray.
Good solid start.
First game.
Left of your picture.
That is the great Ivan Lendl.
He'll have you believe that.
I enjoyed that.
One of the things that Andy will be contending with is that we're talking about the heaviness of the forehand, the strike, the spin, the speed that's coming at you, and you can see a big differential between the two out there, and you won't want to get into too many exchanges with Berrettini, as I say, using that forehand in the backhand corner. That's when it's its most lethal.
Well, they're two very different tennis players. Berrettini is forehand-centric.
15 all.
He bases his game, like many modern-day players do, around this serve, which we can talk about later on because this is exceptional. It's a little bit unusual in its technique, but the effectiveness of this serve is quite extraordinary for me. But he's a forehand-centric player from the back of the court. Murray, more a backhand-centric player, I think you would call him. The backhand is certainly his better wing. So to compare their two forehands is a little bit unfair in a way, isn't it?
It's a very heavy racket that Berrettini plays with. I don't know how many of our viewers are with us that have tried to mess around with the weight on your racket and everything else, but the more weight you put into the head of the racket, it makes the ball feel very heavy for the opponent when it's coming down the other end.
See the change of speed and the sound. You can hear it on the TV screen as well. Just
30 all.
The increase in racket head speed that just whipped that ball down the other end quicker than the previous few he'd hit, and that's where he stings you. He hasn't found the middle of the racket yet, Matteo. He'll be a bit worried here.
40.
Definitely didn't leave his strings as he expected it to. The look at the racket afterwards, and an early chance for Andy Murray. Got him.
Murray.
And that is a play that Berrettini likes to go to, the +1 drop shot.
Wow. Gee, I just have a mental block with this play on a hard court. I thought it was poorly executed and it's dangerous. There's still speed in the Murray legs. That's just too deep. And he gets to the top, that ball almost at the top of the bounce. It was that easy for him. Bad choice from Berrettini, or certainly poor execution.
He's not feeling the ball at all there. Berrettini just tapping his hand on the racket there again, just a little bit at sea with the tension and the conditions, and maybe the roof closing has just thrown him out a little bit. Murray's adapted better.
Berrettini, he started in second gear here. He's mistiming the ball. Made a bad shot selection, I think it's fair to say. On the previous, on the break point, there's Vincenzo Santapadre there in the left. Gave me a lesson at Foro Italico years ago. Nice man.
Did he charge you for it?
Look, I offered to pay. He was very gracious. He said, no, that's a free lesson.
40,
If you're
15.
going to go down a break, you might as well go down a break early. That's the only positive I think you can find in losing your serve early in a match. Gives you a bit more time to break back in this first set, but never a nice feeling.
You see a lot of that, I think, today from Andy when he sees
40,
Berrettini set up for
30.
the slice. He's going to try and just take a little half step more towards his backhand corner to get his forehand into play. It was one of the plays that he used effectively against Djokovic back in 2016.
Okay.
Just got his foot stuck underneath him, I think. Nothing too serious.
Yeah, there's a wet patch here on the court too. Unusual for Andy, he's so good on his feet normally, but yeah, so he probably needs to dry that. Oh, Mohamed Layani all over it, Petch. He's not missing anything that's going on in these surroundings. He's flat-footed, Berrettini, to me. I mean, that second serve was okay from Andy, but it was, you know, just a normal speed of 150 odd Ks, and Berrettini just not in position at all.
Smart second serve though, wasn't it? Kept it nice and low with the slice rather than kicking it in and making it a little bit easier for Berrettini.
I think the backhand body is a good place to go against Berrettini. It does stop him using his weapons, doesn't it? And it's a big body. I mean, Ivan's asleep. Oh no, now he's awake.
The use.
Won this tournament twice. 8-time Grand Slam singles champion, Lendl, one of the great modern players he was. Tell you what though, he's been in a good paddock.
Advantage, Murray.
So important to play with variety, and Andy moving around his first serve very nicely, getting a lot of success going into the Berrettini forehand here. So important to consolidate the break. Berrettini, not one of the best out there on tour in terms of getting the re-break after dropping serve. And he's not going to increase his stat in that department. Murray lands the opening 3 games perfectly.
Roger, you're sitting down on the court side there.
15 love.
The drop shots that I've seen so far this summer, not just at the Australian Open, but in the lead-up tournaments, the United Cup and Adelaide, there's very few succeeding at drop shotting. Is the courts, or are the courts bouncing higher this year, do you think, sitting at courtside?
I think, Fitzy, the balls are livelier, aren't they, out of the can? So when they're newer, I guess that they do jump a bit off the court. So there might be a combination of both. But I agree with you. I haven't seen a lot of the winning ratio is not big, is it?
The players getting to drop shots so easily, and yeah, they've been a losing choice so far for me.
Thirty, 15. Left for service. Out. 14, 15.
Rafa's been talking about how the ball perhaps is affected more by the players with the high spin rate, and certainly Berrettini is up there. He's the fourth highest last year, joint fourth highest last year in terms of RPMs on the ball on his forehand side. So he's up in the same echelons as Rafa is.
Okay, we've seen a winner. Very deft touch there, though. That was cleverly played. And he had Murray right off the court, didn't he?
Murray leads 3-1.
That was a sensational slice, wasn't it? And there's that lovely blend of tennis that Berrettini brings to the court. And it is a nice delta that he has between the power and the finesse. Pickleball comes to the Australian Open.
15 love.
We could play a rally like that, Roger.
Yeah, it was what it did show. There was, you're right. That's about it by speed, but he has mainly got good court craft when he likes that cat and mouse game.
Went through a process of trying to change rackets middle of the way through sort of 2021, and at the end in the off season it did change for a month down here in Australia. He's had a few iterations on the racket. He went to a longer one for a little bit and just has gone back to the normal one. It's interesting. It must be the paint job, but I'm looking at his racket here and I almost feel like it looks a little bit different to the one that he has played consistently with the course of his career. If the frame just looks a little wider to me, I'm sure it isn't.
Andy's doing a really good job athletically at the moment. You can see
40 love.
he looks like his body's alert, and it's, you know, jumping around using that forehand. You can see there's a lot of bounce and energy out of his legs right now.
Brilliant from Berrettini. That's old school grip as well, and yet somehow he managed to manufacture something out of nothing.
40-15.
Such an important shot, the slice forehand. It keeps you in rallies where you just get the opportunity to maybe make something like that happen. Probably too little, too late to salvage this particular game, though. Oh, what a serve.
Murray.
Exceptional from Murray. Rolling back the Australian Open on the men's side. Jannik Sinner getting the better of Carl Edmund, who's still trying to find his form on a protected ranking. Comfortable win for Sinner then. Anything but comfortable for Berrettini here in the moment.
Love 15.
A few ups and downs with injuries over the last year. Of course, had to pull out of COVID after playing so beautifully in Stuttgart and at Queen's, defending his title there. But the ab injury was really the most significant disruptor to his season last year.
15 all.
Became the 8th player at the Cinch Championships,
15.
or as you knew it, the Queen's Club Championships, Fitzy, in your day. 8th player in the Open era to win back-to-back titles there. The other 7 were all former world #1s. Pretty nice club to be a part of that for Berrettini. Murray, Roddick, Hewitt, Lendl, Becker, Connors, McEnroe.
Wow. A little bit out of our league, that group. No, gee. He's just he's not dialed in yet, Roger, is he? He's just, he looks like he's, I don't know, like a step slow or something. He just doesn't have it all together.
And also it's interesting that he's choosing to finish off that point like that too early instead of actually maybe moving Andy around the court, making it physical for Andy.
Gee, Andy was leaving that forehand corner open there. He seemed to be hanging more to his backhand wing.
30.
Like covering the one down the middle a little more. Gee, that's a big area to serve wide into.
Game Berrettini. Murray leads 4 games to 2.
And he may not have his A game out here at the moment, Berrettini, but he is certainly competing nice and hard, and he's given himself another shot here, especially with the balls at their oldest and potentially slowest here, to try and figure out a way to get a break. Murray, who's been directing an awful lot of traffic out wide on the ad side and on the juice side as well with his first serve. Does have a knack at these moments of changing things up, but will he stick with something that's been working nicely? Amazing slice again, because Murray got exactly the return he was looking for off that forehand, and this is not a bad ball at all, but look at that.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets. You know, logic always says that the higher percentage ball is to chip that across court. You've got a better chance of making it. That's fraught with danger, chipping it over that high part of the net from outside of the tramline. You have to be perfect there, and he was.
Is
there such a saying as luck of the Scottish?
No, I don't know. I don't believe there is.
No. Okay.
Have to be careful he doesn't keep serving there too often. It's only going in at 176 Ks as well.
30.
Some tricky terrain to travel through here for Murray to get himself to 5-2 in this opening set.
Well,
15,
the court was
40.
open. It was right there for the asking, wasn't it? The forehand down the line, but the direction of it wasn't perfect, and certainly the height was no good. So he's in trouble here now.
There's one specific shot you feel as though his hasn't been as good in his career as these other great rivals. It's been the forehand down the line, in particular.
This is the brand of tennis that you like watching Andy plays, and he's got an aggressive mindset on the court since the first point, and this is, for mine, is his best brand of tennis when he's got this mentality.
Deuce.
Well, it's not his biggest weapon, really, the serve, but the first serve can be. The second one's always probably had a small cloud hanging over it, hasn't it? But he finds it when he needs it, Murray. Is that his favourite serve, the one wide to the second court, or the one wide to the first court?
Oh, he likes that serve out wide. One of the serves that he lost, obviously, with the hip problem. He couldn't get up and reach up, so he ended up hitting so many slice serves on the ad side.
Well, that completely handcuffs your effectiveness, doesn't it? That's the case.
Advantage, Murray.
Doesn't always serve his way out of trouble, but it's happening here.
You go back and look at his Wimbledon service motion in 2021, and then how he was serving in Cincinnati after spending a lot of time on the court. It's completely different. Well, he went back to what his old motion was, but because of the hip, he was kind of leaning forward into the court, trying to take a lot of the weight off it. Roger's skill.
New balls, please.
Like an arrow.
So that reduced tension faster than a closer string pattern.
Yeah.
$15 love.
It was the same number of mains and crosses, but the racket head was bigger, so therefore obviously there was just more space.
I'm going to call you the string doctor.
Well, that's the only thing you'll ever want to come for advice from me. It's certainly nothing else.
Beautiful touch for a big man.
30 love.
I saw touch like that when I played with Roger in doubles.
Was that you or
no?
me?
That was you. I was just I was a passenger that week.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Roger Federer. Talking about Roger Rashid.
I can see the shock on your face.
We all have our time in the sun, Fitzy, and some of us longer than others, but we do get in the sun at some point.
Good comeback. Just looks like he's rolling his arm over, doesn't it? 210 Ks there with what appears to be very little effort.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you actually want to be careful with your pace on your second serve as well.
15.
175 second serve. Murray using that pace. Once again, saw the slice was coming. The one hand was off the racket and just got himself in the backhand corner waiting for it. I feel like Berrettini needs to use his slice down the line a little more often to get Murray in the middle of the court so he doesn't have that happening to him too often.
Out. Game Berrettini. Murray leads 5 games to 3.
Well, Murray's quest in this match was going to be fairly obvious. Try and grab this opening set. Try and put some pressure on the 13th seed. Last year's semi-finalist, and he's managed to achieve that all the way through these opening 40 minutes. Can he close it out here? That was a sweet shot. Once again, beautiful direction from Murray, but he had the velocity on the shot as well to trouble Berrettini. Didn't just guide it in there, he crushed it.
Well, a big miss. He hasn't really found his range with that
30 love.
That forehand side, which is, of course, his huge weapon. Hasn't quite found his range yet. It'll come.
40 love.
Perfect strategy. And he has executed it exactly how he would have wanted to. The perfectionist is perfect. Murray takes the opener, 6 games to 3.
$15 love. $15 all.
Santapadre, who's been alongside Matteo for the entirety of their journey since his father walked in with his brother and himself, wanting to play this game.
$15-30.
Gee, I like the mood that Andy's in at the moment. As I said earlier, this offensive mentality, I think it's his best tennis. The question mark will be whether he can continue to trust this version of himself.
Dangerous here now for Matteo, of course,
15,
is what I mean.
40.
And after what I thought was a little bit of a flat first set, gee, you wouldn't want Andy to get his nose in front here with a break.
Oh, that is absolutely miraculous. He was the only person.
Not quite that desperate yet, but there's some trouble brewing here for him.
50% swing already for the win predictor.
15.
And that's based on a lot of data, but on the eye test, you can understand it as well.
Well, I always want to say the luck of the Irish, but if he keeps hitting these dead let cord winners, it is going to be the luck of the Scottish here, Mark. It's going his way a bit. He's on a roll, Andy, and things are falling in place for him here.
The first time an Aussie's taught us Brits a new phrase or something, wouldn't it?
Well, certainly in the Queen's English.
He looks fresh, he looks fast, and he looks, more importantly, fired up.
And right now, he'd be enjoying this, wouldn't he?
15.
I'm not sure Matteo knows how to play against him at the moment.
Yeah, well, his weapons are just not really sort of bearing fruit like they normally do. Just the 3 forehand winners from Berrettini right now, and just the 3 aces in the match so far. Those are low numbers for him. Again, it alludes to the fact that perhaps he's not feeling the ball as well as he would like.
All.
If you're Berrettini here, you have to think that a break of serve will swing momentum back in your favour. So he's got to be desperate here. A big chance at 30 all.
(40-30).
Just the 3rd serve that didn't go out wide on the deuce side for Andy in this match so far. And that's versus 12 out wide to the forehand for Berrettini. It's been a plan devised off court, executed on it.
Murray. Murray leads 2 games to love.
Problem mounting here for Matteo Berrettini. Look at this as well. He doesn't do a great job of getting that break back. Alcaraz led the tour last year. Murray doing a very nice job of breaking back when he's dropped his serve. Shows good mental stamina, but also a skill level as well that, you know, again, perhaps Berrettini, for as great as he is, just doesn't have in that department.
(15-love).
Currently out-acing the Italian as well.
(30-love).
Oh, clever. Gee, it missed, but it was nearly perfect. Gee, I thought he'd made that off the racket. And look at the wry smile. He knew that would have been something special.
40-love.
Start seeing points like that from Andy, and you feel as though there's a masterclass loading here, don't you?
You do. He looks confident. Off the racket, I think he thought he might have made that.
Interesting stance he's taken here.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Sir Andy. He's starting to experiment a little bit here. How was the slice he hit in that game? The confidence is really built quickly, I think. seriously good smash. Not an easy ball.
Berrettini.
Well, maybe he's finding something there, Berrettini. That's a couple of aces to add to his tally, but it's Murray that's grabbed a couple of games out. Angeli, of course, had 5 of those. Adriano Panatta also made 3 semi-finals. Already one of the best Italian males. First player from Italy to make all the quarterfinals at all 4 Grand Slams as well.
15 love.
But right now, not looking in Murray's league.
Well, I think maybe part of the decision-making process there for Murray was that he saw Berrettini, after hitting the return, start backing up. So he may have changed his mind there at the last split second to go for that drop shot. Hey, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much, Mark, obviously, but if Murray was to win this match, that would be a very sobering loss, I think, for Berrettini. Oh, we know, and that's Ivan Lendl's effusive look there, by the way. Not a man that shows too much energy or too much excitement. He maintains a very 15. Subtle persona around the court. What a player he was. Great to have him back. But Berrettini's, you know, he'd be thinking here, you know, I know it's Andy Murray. I know he's one of the greats, but he's ranked 46 in the world now. I'm one of the players that is vying to try and be a Grand Slam winner.
Murray.
I'm the seeded player. Gee, Sir Andy's come to compete, hasn't he?
Murray leads 3 games
well, he's
to
just
1.
not letting him settle as well. When you look at the way that he's serving, and we're showing you the pace, just not allowing him to settle on the court to be able to build points in the way that he wants. And you know, I think Andy has the skills. He's always been a leather man of a player with the tools that he has at his disposal, that he's able to make you look as though you're not playing well because of the way that he plays.
I haven't worked out. I don't know if he's got a game plan, though, Berrettini here. What do you think? I'm wondering what Roger thinks on that.
Well, I think he does, but as Mark was saying, Andy's not allowing him to settle into that style of play that he generally likes. That's why
which is serve forehand generally.
Yeah, and dictate from that side of the court. That was better, something different. But if you've got an offensive mind up the other end, you can execute at the level that Andy's doing at the moment. It keeps Berrettini off that, in his home place, and he's not pushing back at the moment. So he just needs to push back a little. Stick his chest out a bit. Your chest, Fitzy, or you, Mark?
That was quite unnecessary, wasn't it, that last little...
I'm just going to give him a small win. It's good for the confidence. It's good for the self-esteem. We've still got 12 days to go. I don't want the guy...
Don't encourage Roger, mate. Clean the line. That's the way he likes to play. We all know that. Haven't seen enough of it today.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had enough time on the ball. I think, again, that's where Andy's done a good job, is not giving the time on the ball. But, I mean, this is the place he can go to, and that is just start ripping forehands like that. He has definitely got more pace on that side if he wants to try and use it. And he keeps himself in contention, although he trails by the break in this second set already, Berrettini. Murray, 3-2.
Murray leads 3 games to 2. Love 15.
Oh, there's his weapon. Okay, building something here, Berrettini. Well, he said he could always go to it. Just increase the speed he hits the forehand with if other things weren't working. Oh, that's imposing.
Oh, he hesitated, but he got away with it.
But how good was it at the end, though, Pet? Because initially, I think you're right. He thought about a half volley, and then he committed to that volley, and then he was able to get it, still feel it in a place that made Berrettini have to come up with a good pass.
Squeezed the gap, didn't he, for the favourite shot for Berrettini, the down-the-line backhand pass. If he was going to lose it, he was going to make Berrettini hit his least favourite shot.
Frustration's building, isn't it? Having to generate all of his own pace on that one because of the touch and the deftness of that deep slice from Murray. Just took the pace off the ball, made it tough to be aggressive against. He's invested now.
40-30.
And you know him well, Mark, I know. And I can tell by your body language here in the box that this is going to get exciting for Murray here. You feel it coming. On that occasion, Berrettini was so desperate to get to the forehand, he wasn't even quite in position. He was just a fraction late and still felt like there was pressure enough for him to pull the trigger. So he's in some trouble here tactically. I'm not sure he's going to have to use the forehand more, it seems like. But Murray's growing in belief here, isn't he?
He's had a couple of scrambles to safety in the opening set, and now here in that game at love 30, and he's accomplished it. Berrettini just not able to assert himself in the manner that you would expect.
Love.
The best win for Andy at a major as well, if he were to come through, since he beat Cain at Roland Garros back in 2017 ranking-wise.
Love. Love. Berrettini.
Not much difference in first serve pace in this.
15 love. Left for service.
Even then, it just looks a little out of sorts to me, Berrettini. Like he was forced to go for a big forehand again, and it was almost halfway down the net. He just doesn't look on the money today for me.
92% of his first serve points won in this second set for Andy as well. And when we showed you the graph of the predictability of his serve as well, it just goes to show just how ineffective that Berrettini has been. I'm sure he must be feeling those patterns, just cannot do anything about it.
And I guess also what it's showing is at times it's fine to be very predictable, isn't it?
Yep.
It's not about always having movement and changes of direction.
Out. 40-15. 40-30.
Well, this is somewhat surprising. Barely missed a backhand volley at 40 love, and all of a sudden, pressure developing here.
What a competitor.
Advantage, Murray.
Knows how big this point was. I mean, contributed to putting himself under a little bit of pressure and knew how big that point was to get ahead and win this game, consolidate the break again. He's edging closer towards his second set.
Fabulous defence from Murray. It looks like a bad miss from Berrettini, but what a squash shot from Murray on the forehand to keep the ball low and bring the net into play.
But it was a bad forehand miss too.
5-3.
I mean, that missed by 3 meters. Gee, it's increasingly looking like Andy's day here.
Left for service. $15 love. $30 love.
clever return.
30-15.
Murray with no backswing at all. He just opened the face of the racket, gave it that ball the full face, actually, and just bunted that ball back. It was sharp. All hand-eye coordination there. He's pushing to break. He wants to finish the set here, Murray.
30-all.
Second fastest serve of the match as well for Berrettini, and it came back to an excellent length as well.
How well is he bunting that? This is where you have to mix it up if you're Berrettini. Surely, if you're allowing Murray to hit the ball high
30,
over the net
40.
to get the depth, you've got to serve and volley a little bit. You've got to mix it up. You've got to take that option away from Murray, but he's just playing the same points over and over here. Set point.
Cain. $15 love. $15-all.
Big time return, and the absence of alternatives really for Berrettini are very apparent right now. Again, he locks him up in the forehand corner. And so much of that also leads into the fact that Murray still backs his movement despite all the problems that he's had with his hip, that he's willing to trade with Berrettini from that side.
$40-15.
Always huge logic in serving to the Berrettini backhand, because it just doesn't simply have enough pace to ever beat you on the return and put you under a huge amount of pressure. Doesn't whip it cross court, so you can always just leave that bit and just stand in the middle of the court.
With this,
you don't have to cover all the court. On this side, as we've seen, the forehand from Berrettini with all the spin on the return drops mid-court, which allows you to get to work straight away.
left for service.
trying to often at all, because I know he doesn't really like it, but he's decided to use it. And he clearly would have invested a fair bit of time in getting comfortable using that before playing Berrettini today. If you don't hit it well when you're inside the baseline, then you are obviously backpedaling very quickly for your second shot when you're returning. And with a guy like Berrettini with his forehand, if you don't find the backhand side from well inside the baseline, you're going to be under an awful lot of pressure. It's been a good tactical switch from Andy, and he's executed it again superbly.
$15 all. $13-15.
Well, I think the good news is here that not too much energy has been expended from Berrettini, and he's got to start again and think about winning in 3 straight sets here. And I think his body language so far here in this 3rd set has been good, so he's remaining positive at least, isn't he?
I don't expect to see him drop his head. He's a great competitor, Berrettini. Plug away.
Berrettini.
And a better start to this 3rd set than he's had in the previous couple. Quickest serve of the match for Berrettini, that last one.
$15 love.
He's a smart tennis player, isn't he, Andy? Of course he is. It's tough to become this good for so long if you're not.
One thing to see the way to play, and it's another thing to have the repertoire of shots to be able to do exactly what he just did on that previous point.
Some good stuff from the big Italian. He's trying to make his presence felt now.
30 all.
Get the odd outburst from Berrettini, but he keeps his emotions pretty close to his chest. But he will knuckle down. He doesn't mind the hard work, the hard yards. Murray needs to be careful here.
Well, I think in two minds. It was an awkward return, wasn't it? So he had to make a choice, and there was danger
40
associated with letting the ball bounce and taking it in the air. This has come from nowhere.
Gone out wide both times on break point. Will he go there again? Berrettini with a huge opportunity. And again, just tactically keeping Berrettini guessing and not just moving the ball around, but making it as well.
Mark, Berrettini pointed to his box there, and I feel sure that it's a frustration in the moment, and he's saying, there you go, he went down the middle, you told me wide. But wide is his favourite. He wants it badly, doesn't he?
Advantage, Murray.
That wasn't easy. You could almost get inside his mind there and think, uh-oh, here comes a tough one. It was almost like he was grimacing before he hit that smash. Pulled it off.
Well, that is a rare return from Berrettini.
Use.
The depth on that just surprising Murray for the first time really today. He just can't get himself neutral off that return, can he, Berrettini? Look how short it was again.
Advantage, Murray.
That's a good sign from the Italian. We know the second serve is not Andy's biggest forte. And this is important to shake up the situation a little bit at times. That's his favourite shot. Get out there and hit it. Good stuff.
Signs of life from Berrettini, but just can't find the right shot at the right time.
Murray.
That was a poor miss from there. It was sitting up for him to hit, but his body position is still not very positive. He's not actually getting through that ball. That was a ball where he just stayed straight up and down.
Murray winning all of the big points today, as you can see, those pressure points. The 30-all points, the juice points, the break points. And the game points.
Murray.
And that
bit of his own medicine there. Murray returning the favour to Berrettini, the slice down the line that Berrettini's used a couple of times. Just saying, I can do it too, buddy. Beautiful feel there.
Fifteen-all. 30-15.
best option for Berrettini is to take the racket right clean out of Murray's hands with these big serves. Again, you see Murray. Force of habit was walking up to the baseline, just had to remind himself that this is where he's returning from today off the second serve of Berrettini.
I'd
like to see a replay of that.
Catches when you matches.
Good hands, young man.
Berrettini randomly catching fire all of a sudden.
40-30.
You can see how important it is to try and find his backhand off the return. Huge forehands, blistering forehands from Berrettini. He's just put him in no man's land there, hasn't he? I mean, it looks like a bad miss. I mean, I'm not saying it's a ball he should miss, but he's not sure what he's got to do with it. He's got no pace to work with. There was an argument to go in and just try and knife it and get in. And he's just giving him a lot of different balls and lots of different choices to make in a very quick time span. There's the return. It just takes away a little bit of time for Berrettini on that due side. He cuts the angles down. By moving up to the baseline, he takes away the quick serve out wide from the second as well. He can cut the angle off there, and then he can guide it into the backhand of the Italian. He's earned the right for this break point, Murray. Superb play.
Use.
A lot of tension down here at the moment. You can see Berrettini's making a big push here, isn't he?
He's got to stay with him.
Fault.
And the ball gets back fast. Berrettini's having loads of trouble, isn't he, on both sides?
Advantage.
And there's not too many players in the world that can stand up on the baseline, abbreviate their swing and pick off the serve like Andy.
Well, it was 179 Ks, Rog. It's not slow. It takes good skills, doesn't it? That would have given Berrettini all sorts of trouble.
The use.
His heart would have been in his mouth. Lendl's not convinced. Although I'm not sure his eyesight would be quite as good as it used to be.
Take a deep breath after that one, Berrettini. An escape route in this particular game is opening up.
After he misses that ball, he said, "Oh, make that." So you can see what Andy's expectations are right now on the tennis court. He feels like every shot's makeable.
Yeah, he's always been like that. Put his racket on the ball, he expects to make the shot.
Use. Advantage, Berrettini.
He's literally fighting for his life here, in a sense of this match. It's a must-win, this game, for Berrettini.
And Berrettini.
Good commitment.
And still trying something new there with the serve and volley as well. You talked about it earlier, trying to take away that block return for Andy. And the longer he's out here, more solutions will present themselves. Maybe a better sense of feeling the ball as well for Berrettini as we head towards the 2-hour mark as well. Who knows?
It's long, but the tennis is getting better. Starting to lift, isn't it? What a point.
Love 15.
And those are the kind of rallies that suddenly go Berrettini's way, that maybe just infuse him with that sense that this is still possible to turn around.
Fifteen all. Thirty, 15.
Corner looks flat as well, doesn't it? Doesn't look as though they've got too many solutions or too many words of advice right now for Berrettini to pull him out of the fog that he's clearly still feeling.
Yeah. Only takes one member of the public, doesn't it? Deliberately making a noise there at the wrong time.
I think it was a child, Fitzy, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest.
Fitzy's kids never misbehave. So
No,
he doesn't understand.
He taped their mouths.
Oh, stop it. And Andy's not happy, though.
Yeah, Andy's going to have to whip a second serve down the tee on the ad side to stop Berrettini from doing this. That is almost 100-mile-an-hour return from there. I mean, it is an unbelievable shot. And we shouldn't underestimate just how good that was from Berrettini.
Please don't disturb during the service motion. Thank you.
Oh, he's got him. He's made a habit of that shot, as Berrettini. It is a beauty. It takes a lot of control to keep that shot under wraps, and a good approach from Murray.
40.
But he gets burnt. And is this a slight change in momentum?
Well, it's certainly a change in the scoreboard for the first time as Berrettini breaks the Italian.
What I'm really interested here is to let's see if the body language, whether there's any commentary coming from Andy towards his group. Let's see if there's any shift there, or he can stay locked in and push back immediately.
Still only ever lost once from 2 sets to love up in his career, and that, of course, was when he came onto centre court and centre stage in British consciousness, but also globally as well when he lost to Nalbandian at Wimbledon as a wild card. He has won the other 158 times that he's been in this position.
It's funny how your mind works, though. You know, if he'd maintained that lead, held his serve, his mindset would be a little different than what it is right at this moment. I think there's some more negativity creeping in. If he was ahead, the possibility of winning in 3 straight and getting off, getting into the showers, much more possible.
Berrettini. Berrettini leads 4 games to 2.
Nice quick hold for Berrettini. The longer this goes on, the more concern there will be for Andy, perhaps, and people that have watched him over the last sort of 6 months with some of the issues that he's had with cramping that have seemed to beset him. Making sure that he is taking on fluid at that end.
Love. 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 New balls, please.
Successive quick games by both the players, but it's Berrettini with the valuable break here in the third. 4-3.
Berrettini leads 4 games to 3.
Transformation for Melbourne Park has been well documented, and it's been well received by all the fans and everybody that comes here, players alike, officials. And it continues to impress and it continues to improve. They have been a leader in the sport in so many ways. Innovation has been the key word, not just in the infrastructure, but also some of the competitions that Tennis Australia have been involved with, such as Laver Cup, ATP Cup, United Cup. Can Berrettini keep posing questions and problems for Andy Murray?
Let for service.
Well, that tactic continues to
Lock
work.
15.
The quick ball back into or towards the baseline for Berrettini is a difficult one to handle. He doesn't react well to that. Certainly not today. Off both sides. Quick into his backhand or his forehand. That comes when Andy stands up, but he's doing it on the first court rather than the second. Lost his timing at that point, Andy. You don't see that too often.
15 all.
Fault. Out.
15-30.
Well, only
30 all.
the premier forehand can do this. Deep, slow, with no pace. He has to generate all of his own, and he knocks it off. That's world class.
It's not just the speed of Berrettini's serve that always catches your eye, it's the accuracy, and at times he has had some of the best accuracy out on tour in terms of how close to the lines, like that last one he can serve. Just starting to locate it a little bit better.
Again, Berrettini.
And there's another one to add to the growing collection. And the mood shifts within the Rod Laver Arena as well.
Berrettini leads 5-3.
And this is another difference here. We always look at, throughout the course of a best-of-5 match, there's always going to be differences. Look at this. Huge, huge upside for Berrettini on his forehand here. He's found 13 Ks on average in this third set compared to the opening set here.
Love. Love.
With a serve like Berrettini's, he may well already have that in the forefront of his mind. The next game.
40 love. Left for service. Murray.
You've got so many other things you're trying to manage when you're on the court. Your fears, but you try and put them to one side and present courage. Berrettini's been brave. Can he be successful as well as he tries to grab this third set? Indicative of how this set has gone. He has just been one shot better at the right time so far, Berrettini.
15 love.
And a desperate volley. The situation needed it. Wonderful attempt at a pass, and Berrettini lunges.
Terrific court craft from Murray.
$15-all.
Predominantly gone out wide on the deuce side, Berrettini, in this third set. I haven't seen him be this predictable. He's only actually made one serve down the tee in this third set. Started the game going out wide to the forehand of Murray.
Well, it was a volley really should have made, I think.
15.
The slice from the Berrettini squash forehand. This spin that it creates takes the ball down off the racket face. So it spins down. If it's a top spin, a passing shot, the ball will pop up more off the string. So Andy didn't compensate for that. This is a good mental effort, isn't it?
14-15.
Yeah, he's definitely not at his pinnacle of his powers, but he has performed well under pressure in this third set. And he's given himself a chance. Couple of set points.
Third set. Berrettini.
Fastest serve of the match. We showed you the uptick in pace on the forehand, and it's made an appearance on the very first point of the fourth set.
Love 15.
And Petch, this is all about the mentality, because dropped the first two sets but stepped up in that very first game in the third ran around a second serve return from Andy, and he's been upbeat, and he's created the turnaround through the mind. Good energy.
He stayed home. He saw that pass in the opening set, and he wasn't going to give the avenue up for Murray to explore it again. And this is exciting times for Berrettini.
Love 30.
He just looks like he's woken up, Petch. It took him 2 sets. He was flat. It seemed there was no energy, no adrenaline. Now he's found it.
And he had a little look back at Andy as well after that point, just to see what was going on the other side of the court.
Out. 15-30.
Fault.
Well, that is a let-off. The first one was a little unlucky for Berrettini, but he doesn't use his left hand particularly well on his backhand at times. It bends both elbows on the way through. It's a very sort of stubby backhand. You look at the great backhands that you see, the two-handers, and the non-dominant hand is doing a lot of the work extending through the shot. Berrettini could hit his backhand in a phone box. That is priceless.
It's gone to another level now. Berrettini pressing here to break.
40-30.
And Murray fending him off.
World-class slice backhand there from Murray. And you can see, if you don't have that shot, how Berrettini makes your life very difficult out there on the tennis court.
Fault.
Well, when we look back in the rearview mirror of this match, that might just be the most important game that Murray has managed to get out of. Berrettini applying pressure.
Fourth set.
So
15 love.
Starting to find a few more free points. Look at this again. We're just showing you the gradual improvements, and some of them are startling. Unreturned serves for Berrettini in that third set. 61% compared to 37 in the opener.
Yep, his two big weapons have kicked into gear.
Fault.
did find a lot more pace in that set as well.
15
So
all.
it will be interesting to hear what he has to say about what happened in that opening set and why it was as subdued as it was. Well, you see the game plan, don't you? Every time the slice comes, Murray's looking to try and get that forward into play. Often he's gone inside in with this, a little unlucky with the tape.
This is a real competitive situation now, though, isn't it? You know, those long matches where you're out there alone, you're with your own thoughts so much of the time. Bit of physical pain probably starting to kick in, especially for Andy, I would suspect. He's a warrior.
Fault.
Well, that was an exceptional forehand. It was one of those situations where Murray had pressed with the return. It was deep.
14-30.
Berrettini's had trouble with that situation often, but his forehand's improving at such a rate that he turned defense into attack straight away.
Fault.
Berrettini.
Turning into an arm wrestle now.
1 game on.
It's the beauty of 5 sets, isn't it? You have a chance if you can just stay in the moment, and like the Italian had, he's done a great job of showing you what it looks like if you're prepared to compete and stay alive and be present. How you can turn things around and give yourself a chance.
Out.
15 love.
Great close. Wasn't that easy in the end, to be honest.
13 love. 30-15.
It's where their forehands differ a little bit, isn't it? Not being able to generate the pace as well, Andy, off the forehand wing as this man. He's got all those other assets. You could see that with the high forehand volley he just knocked off with nonchalance, really. But the slow ball into his forehand sometimes creates a problem. Sorry, Petch, how do you see his body?
40-15.
Andy, yeah, I mean,
he's in good.
Is that his normal gait these days? It is.
He looks fine to me. He looks strong. I was a little concerned when he went over and hung out with Ivan just at the end of the first game of this full set, but he looks fine now.
Murray.
Well, they both know what's coming. So.
He's coming in more and more, isn't he? And pretty competent with the volleys, isn't he, Berrettini? I mean, some of the more difficult ones, maybe his technique could improve a little bit, but generally speaking, he's a force when he comes in, and he comes in behind that big forehand, which helps.
15-all.
Just looking for an opening here, Murray. Wants to get ahead in this game and let the natural pressures play themselves out here. His graph of improvement is continuing, I think, Berrettini.
30-15.
And you suspect, I think, if he can pull this fourth set out of the fire, he's going to be hard to stop in the fifth.
Service.
Fault.
Thirty-all.
He's disappointed with himself because he's seen the serve that's gone down the tee. There have been a high frequency of serves out wide from Berrettini on the due side, but Murray had actually picked that one, just couldn't get it back into play.
Well, I think the first returns just started to get a little short from Andy. If the first one is too short, Berrettini will get a forehand, and then Andy's going to be on the defense.
2 games all.
Straight to the forehand, and you're in trouble.
And you can also see a different mood with Berrettini. Now the ratio's more in the favour of forehands to backhand. He's always looking. He's looking to get in as well and finish some play at the net.
He looks like he's back to normal, Rog, doesn't he? This is how he normally looks and feels.
Yeah, it feels like it's more on his terms.
15 love. $15 all.
Fault.
Berrettini's so disappointed with himself there. He just made
15.
No inroads at all. He was not impactful off the return.
Vincenzo's got a better look on his face now, though. It looks like he feels they've got a chance, I think. And Ivan, well, his looks just the same.
Fault.
Smart serve from Andy. Needed to do that. Just needed to keep Berrettini honest on the return.
14-15. $40-30.
Doesn't love playing parallel with that shot with his feet. Likes to hit it open stance. Just got a little tool through the hit there rather than staying low.
Fault.
Does Berrettini look to try and run around this second serve? Just enough on the low. The other second serve just kept Berrettini locked in the 15th Australian Open for Andy Murray. Huge golf and experience.
Gee, the speed's pretty good there still for Andy, isn't he? His anticipation has always been good, so he's halfway there, knowing where the opposition's going to hit the volley. Thought Berrettini made that a little difficult for himself there. Decides to come in and has to hit a really low volley because of it. That was difficult.
Love. 40 love.
Big match for Berrettini too, though. You know, when you consider his highest ranking's been 6th in the world and he's currently at 14. He's got a semi-final coming off here. The way those ATP ranking points work, it's a rotating 12-year period. They'll drop off and he needs to replace a lot of them, if not more.
Fault.
I like that.
New balls, please.
I like that a lot. Bit of variety from the big man.
3 games on.
It just feels like drama is following.
Yeah, he would drop outside the world's top 20 if he were to lose today, probably. And as you say, that would always have some sort of connotations for tournaments down the road where maybe or maybe not he doesn't get seeded, and certainly doesn't get seeded as high as well. So these are big pivotal moments for Matteo Berrettini here. As well as he's played at the US Open in making the semis, Berrettini, and here, of course, last year, yet to win a tour title on a hard court as well, has one on clay and grass. Runner-up in Musetti late last year in Naples. Conversely, Murray with 34 titles on hard courts in his career.
Net first service.
And you can just feel on the court just the tension in the early points of each of their service games. The first couple.
Wonderful point. He's a master with that slice down the line, isn't he? Beautiful feel.
13,
and it takes
15.
Takes good feel to hit this shot. That is not easy. The margins there are very small, but it causes this. Berrettini hits up and Murray takes over. No ordinary player.
That's not got the balance on that forehand time today, Berrettini. And look at him just pull out of the
14,
shot, pull up
15.
out of the shot. The head doesn't stay still. Lots of skill and some great defense as well from Murray. Takes him to within.
These moments get more and more important towards the finish line.
$15 love.
See how badly he wants the first point, because it sets the tone when the opposition serving.
There is beauty and there is skill, and then there is both of them combined, and that's exactly what this was. What a beautifully constructed point from Berrettini as well. Seen some deft slices from Murray today, but that was a nice one from the Italian, and he has given that a ride. Nothing that Murray can do about that.
$40 love.
Just judged that to perfection. Glided it over at the 3-hour mark. And are we sliding towards a fifth set potentially still here?
4 games all.
Well, their meeting at the US Open in the round of 32 went 3 hours and 47 minutes for just 4 sets. She's a little bit ahead of that mark right now. Well, they're both looking at each other, knowing exactly what's going to come. And there is nothing that Berrettini at times can do about it. Again, I feel like that's just too conservative off the return when you pretty much nailed or know it's going to go to your forehand side. Just giving Murray exactly what he wants. Predominantly a forehand return, which he can just massage and coax into your backhand side. And very tough for Berrettini to turn the point around.
The feel of a maestro.
Well, he's hit that so late, he's used his body as disguise, hasn't he? What an outrageous pass. And watch him after the pass, though. He's on his way as well. He's not expecting it to be a winner, just in case the opponent there he is.
What an exceptional game this is at 4-all. Controlling the point, being aggressive when it's there. This is a ripper.
Look at that. It makes you get nostalgic, doesn't it, for his Hassian days. And maybe we'll still see that over the next fortnight. 5-4 Murray, fourth set. Couldn't be better, could it, Rog? That was Murray at his absolute finest.
No, it was Petch, there's no doubt about it, and that's what I've been so impressed with, because there hasn't been the little shift of, oh, I'll get a little defensive, I'll lose my core position. Even when Matteo has come at him now and he's playing they're playing at the same level, still Andy's there, and so he's trusting his movement, he's clear with the way he wants to go about things, and it puts him in a position now where this first point's going to be enormous.
Murray hoping to engage Berrettini in a conversation of defeat in this next game. He's looking for the finest triumph that he's had at a Grand Slam since 2017.
Fault.
That was a lovely injection of pace from Berrettini. Murray gave him the off-pace back forehand. Not thinking the Italian was going to have enough pace to beat him. He was wrong.
Left for service. 30 love.
Fault. Out.
30-15.
Hadn't made any inroads into Berrettini's previous couple of service games, but he's got a bit of traction here, Murray.
Out. 14-15.
Well, it was a rousing performance by Murray in the previous service game. Berrettini has elevated his form to exactly the same level, and it was needed, and it was excellent.
5 games all.
It sure was, Petch, and it's exactly what I was thinking, that he just sent the balls back and said, I'm here as well at your level, and it's a really intriguing game, because now the crowd, it's going to be interesting to see where they sit. Are they sitting with Andy, where they've got a lot of history, or do they want this to leak into a 5th set with even more drama?
15 love.
And in amongst all the emotional stress that you're feeling, you've still got to think clearly about where to move your serve around. A rare serve down the tee from Murray on the due side, and it produces his 9th ace.
For service.
Fault.
$15 all.
He was waiting for a call that never came.
How well has he served, Mark? It's been an impressive
30-15
serving performance by Andy, hasn't it?
It's been excellent, and I mean, I just love the way that he's moved it around. I mean, we're just looking at some of the stats up here. He's hardly moved it around on the second point, or sorry, the 3rd or 5th point of the game. I mean, it's been the first point that he's occasionally gone down the tee, but in this game, he is keeping Berrettini absolutely guessing.
Out.
14-15.
Good high numbers of first serves going in for Murray as well. 70% in this set. He's taken 3 serves straight down the tee on the ads of that great champion. Goodness me, Roger, he got away with that, didn't he?
Oh, he did. That forehand was completely, well, he used all the racket, paid for it all, so you might as well use it all. But then he had the steely mind to just control his thinking and finish off with that overhead. But, Mark, how good are these moments in tennis matches? We just find out so much about the individual character, don't we, right here when the tension's at its premium.
Line.
Fault.
Out. 13-15.
Fault.
Wow, he did a great job of peppering the backhand side there of Berrettini. Only allowed 1 forehand in that rally.
30.
You can't help but be inspired by this man's determination and his courage.
(40-30).
Murray so close and yet potentially so far away from a win he so desperately wants.
Berrettini.
And there is nothing you can do about that. Berrettini controlling his own destiny there. Couple of fabulous serves from the Italian.
A 6-game tour. 4th set tiebreak.
And you feel like, Mark, that the first serve, the player that can land it the most in this tie break's probably going to walk away with this. It's been so dominating.
Thank you.
He has suffered so much heartbreak at this particular tournament. A lot of triumphs, of course, to get through all of those finals, but heartbreak ultimately for somebody who, when he enters a major, has designs on winning it. It would be fitting if this tournament gave him something back here today. What an atmosphere.
1-all.
And you've got to love the all-out attack from Berrettini. And the ball's there now to be hit. There's no question he's going after it.
The serve forehand combination, delivering the hurt.
Left for service. Left for service.
Opportunity for everyone to hold their breath again. Well, apparently it was just a sighter. Deadly accurate from Berrettini on the first serve.
2-1 Berrettini.
Fault.
That was an in full flight, wasn't it? Because that was probably one of the bigger backhands. It launched and through his body at that particular shot.
My goodness, that backhand slice must have flirted with the tape or caught some sort of thermal there. Elevated itself up over the net and Murray couldn't respond. Berrettini makes the first move in this fourth set breaker.
3-2 Berrettini.
And it came so slowly in the end that Murray could almost contemplate what tactic to use off it.
Fault.
Reminiscent of the opening set. A very loose forehand from Berrettini, something that we haven't seen for a long time.
3-all.
Yeah, he got the ball he wanted, didn't he, Mark? There's no doubt about that. It was set up for his pet shot, really, that forehand. But, gee, that sailed a long way out. Nerves? Well, they have to be there, don't they?
That can relieve stress. That uncomplicates things. Beautiful delivery from Berrettini. Oh, he's found a gorgeous backhand. And just like the other point that Roger highlighted, a little injection of pace off that wing from Murray. Locks Berrettini up in the backhand side. "24 incredible shots, and what a moment to produce a rally like that." And it wasn't the big blistering forehand that won the day for Berrettini there. It was the defense, it was the hunger, it was the desire. It is all the qualities of a great player. And for a second time in this tiebreaker, he goes up a mini break. He's hit that from a neighbouring city, and yet somehow he has found the target. And from where he was, it had to be a clean winner. He wasn't getting back. But the comeback in the breaker on again from Murray. Twice trailing.
5-all. Please.
These two putting on a show, bringing the magic back to Melbourne.
Berrettini.
Set point, Berrettini.
Down theirs, and well, you don't blame them. Being so free in the ball striking prior to that shot, and that went halfway up the net.
And it's these moments when you take a look at pressure points won that you realise that numbers more often than not are for accountants. Margins in sport are vanishingly small. In 2019, when he lost to Batista Agut, it looked as though Murray was going to drop the curtain on his illustrious career here in Melbourne, but here he is still fighting for his life.
First service.
And just when you think it couldn't get any more dramatic, that unfolds before your eyes. Can you believe it? Berrettini with a one-handed pass. Murray with the dive volley, agonizingly out.
7-6, Berrettini.
And the difference between elation and desolation is on a Hawkeye graphic. And Berrettini with a second set point, and it's on his serve.
Yeah, long.
Well, that was unusual, Mark, because Berrettini had a chance to get around his forehand. There was enough flight on that ball. Didn't do it, went for the slice, and that was a poor choice. And look at Andy at his box, screaming at him, come on.
Brilliant defence of the net from Berrettini. He has come up with some electrifying points. Survival instinct just kicking in here for the Italian.
Eight, 7, Berrettini.
And for a third time, we potentially enter into a fifth set if Berrettini can take it.
me the ball.
Fault.
Top set, Berrettini.
And they are going to have to show their courage, as they have been for an enthralling 3 hours and 40 minutes so far.
love.
Fault.
all. Thirty, 15.
As the saying says, continuous improvement beats delayed perfection every single time, and that's been the case for Berrettini since the opening couple of sets as well. He has got better and better. And Murray will be hoping that past trend doesn't reflect the future ahead of him. But this is a strong-looking start for Berrettini, who's had a great record, of course, in 5-set matches throughout the course of his career. He's won 7 and lost just 1. His only defeat coming to Tennis Sangren here in 2020 in the second round.
Fault.
This is the 40th 5th-set match of Murray's career.
Serving first two here makes a difference. I think it does. Some people think not.
Seen that movie before. And the sequel had exactly the same outcome as the other times that he's tried that particular play. Didn't capitalize on what was another world-class backhand there, Berrettini.
Left to a service.
tell you what, he gets to a lot of shots that you don't think he's going to get to, Berrettini. That heart and desire to just chase down and lunge, it's there in abundance for the Italian.
15 all.
Well, I think there's two reasons for that. His anticipation is good, and he's on the way when he sees someone making the shot. They're halfway through the shot, and he's off. And then he's got the big body that can lunge.
Left second service.
Magnificent. Or is it over the line? He's shaking.
30, 15.
He's shaking his head.
He's
and
made it.
Inside. Gee, he's tough on himself. He was shaking his head. He threw me.
Well, he remembered the one he missed when he had to dive for the ball.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
that's the one he's talking about.
Yeah, good call, Rog. There was some skill in that forehand volley, though. A little bit of Pat Rafter there. The old topspin forehand volley.
40, 15.
And it's just 1 point amongst many that we're going to play in this final set, but it was a significant one, wasn't it? Because this is the moment where Berrettini still has that kind of edge with the momentum, but doesn't last long.
Fault.
Trying to make something happen there.
New balls, please.
Berrettini, and he's, as the match has gone on, we've been showing you what he's been doing a little bit better, but obviously there are always little nuances in these sort of matches that when things start shifting around that are very interesting. Murray in the opening couple of sets, look at the depth on his return. You picked up on it, Fitzy, as well. First serve return placement was absolutely excellent. You can see how it's dropped away in sets 3 and 4. Partly has to be said with the combination of the fact that Matteo has served better in sets 3 and 4 as well. He hasn't allowed Murray to return as well, but if he can find that depth again, he can still score a big win here, Murray, in Australia once again. But what is it going to be that decides this match? A luminous bit of skill from one of these two players like it was from Berrettini in the tiebreaker. Or will the Italian be blindsided by Murray's brilliance as he has and was in the opening couple of sets?
Long.
And as the match has worn on, the quality of serving's got better from Berrettini. You can see Murray just shifting a little bit more on the return. He's guessing a little bit more with his footwork, more uncomfortable. Another reason why perhaps he's not returning with the same depth as he was in the opening couple of sets.
Matteo isn't on the back foot as much on his service games now because
30
the serve's
long.
better initially, and he doesn't return as deep and not as effectively. And so Berrettini has more chance to initiate the first big hit in the rally and stay aggressive rather than defend early in the rally. It's making a difference. Harder for Andy to break serve. A little bit of tiredness there, maybe. Hey, he is 35.
He's got a metal hip. You Aussies are too tough.
Oh. He's magnificent, mate. But there was a sign of resignation there, wasn't there, at the end of that point?
Berrettini.
What a match it's been. It's been a battle of wits out here, and neither of these two are unarmed. It is still a wonderfully captivating contest. 2-1, Berrettini, 5th set. He's getting a little more success with the ideal ball, isn't it? The idea ball, where it looks like a good idea and then ends up isn't a good idea, which is what it was in the opening couple of sets. But you're right, maybe if Andy is just a half a step slow, that the drop shot may come out and work for Berrettini. But fair play to him, he has explored all avenues for success in this match, Berrettini.
Well, if I was him, which I'm not, on many levels, I might add, Mark.
You look as good as this in 4K definition, Fitzy.
Gee, okay. I'll pay you later. Facetiousness has no place right now. No, I'd continue with the same game plan. Why would you change that? He's got the serve working. The forehand he's hitting harder after that first set and a half. Stay with that game plan. If you're Berrettini, why would you change it? Andy, to me, does look just a tiny bit different than he looked 2 sets ago. I'm not sure what Roger thinks down there, but there was a couple of moments in that last game where there was a tiny bit of resignation.
Yeah, I think there's a little, Fitzy, obviously there's a little bit of fatigue creeping in, but the ball striking's still there, and I think he's just as heavily in this match as he was at the end of the 4th.
Fault. Out.
15 love.
Been one of the differences when he has found the space on that forehand in sets 3 and 4 for Berrettini, that he can hurt Murray straight down the line with that forehand. Opening couple of sets, he was just guiding it down there, and Murray was able to kind of hit this backhand cross and just keep Berrettini on the defense.
Two funny old forehand errors in this game from Berrettini. This is the moment you don't expect that. He's on a bit of a run. He's playing better.
But something to lose for the first time in the match.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm impressed with Berrettini. I mean, at 2 sets to love down, I thought he was basically gone. He didn't look really fully engaged to me. He looked slow and a little bit and flat-footed, and he's made himself improve against a great player. He's impressive. And it seems like he's playing better and better as the match goes on.
Oh, Murray with an outrageous shot. Crowd loving it. How has he found this? Berrettini leaves this little nudge down the line so late, gives him the little fake with the racket as well.
He was facing backwards.
30.
Look at Berrettini's reaction. He's as astonished as everybody else.
That was big, wasn't it? Huge. That can ignite you.
Games on.
And Fitzy, you asked about the energy of Andy, and you know, this crowd, if they want to, they can ride Andy here, and he'll get a lot from them as well, because he brings a lot of history, doesn't he, on this court?
Yeah, well, that's nothing against Matteo. They love him here too. I've been through some experiences with him on this centre court. Long matches, big 5-set wins.
Take your seat,
But
thank you.
they love Andy Murray.
Well, that's an impressive reset.
15 love.
How many times has he done that patch over the last 2 sets?
He's reacted incredibly positively to a lot of adversity in this match. Berrettini speaks volumes for his character.
Fault.
Just the first double fault from Berrettini.
This is where the serve, almost more than any other time, can come in, and there's Ivan trying to... All legal coaching from the box these days.
I think, strictly speaking, that isn't legal.
Okay, showing hand signals.
Oh, he's just pulled him all over the court here.
It can't be possible, can it, to be moving as well
15.
now as he was 3.5 hours ago. Make that 4. A little bit heavier in the legs.
And he mouth, I'm not sure if you've seen it on the replay, he was looking towards us and he said, terrible movement. That was shocking.
We're laughing with him here, not
Exactly.
at him.
Fault.
Exactly. We know how
As
brilliant
hard
he's
as he
been.
has been on his coaching team at times, he's as hard on himself as well.
That's funny, though. This is where it takes a big mental effort, doesn't it, to keep serving when you're coming from behind. Always down that one game, not a service break, but trailing constantly. It's wearing.
Third longest match of Berrettini's career in terms of time. He was going to definitely make the second longest of his career. Of course, Alcaraz here last year won it in a final set breaker, 4 hours and 10 minutes, the longest match of his career, 4 hours and 19 at Wimbledon in 2019. And interesting as well, Berrettini has won all 9 of the longest matches of his career.
Interesting. You are a font of knowledge, and that's important, by the way. He's a big, strong dude, isn't he? Vincenzo Centopadre, his mentor, his coach, his good friend.
You know, we talk about Andy Murray's slice backhand, but wow, has the Italian got a very, very attractive one as well.
Murray.
All tied, 3 apiece, 5th
3
set.
games all.
You haven't been working hard if there's no blood showing, have you?
You'll be hoping it's not all in vain. Murray's longest match, of course, over 5 hours against Juan Martín del Potro. That was in the Davis Cup back in 2016.
15 love.
Well, that little motion there from Murray shows me that he's really struggling on the return, and probably is unlikely, well, don't speak too soon, but unlikely to break, really. If he's going to try and attempt to get that serve back in that fashion, he moved to his left, moved back to his right, and still got aced by a long way. He's struggling to move on the return. Nerves of steel, I think. You think your hand would be shaking a little bit too much to take the pace off the ball in that situation. Just hit another smash, Mark.
He
doesn't look like he's reacting to the return, Roger.
I don't think it's a reaction. It's more he doesn't know where to go. He's not picking the serve at all in the first court. I'm not sure what you think, Mark, but I just think he's just not picking it.
It's not the tiredness, which would be understandable.
Berrettini.
Nice comfortable hold, little jog to the towel, make sure Murray sees that. Judged to perfection from Berrettini. What a valuable point the first point of the game is against the serve.
Love 15.
Well, his touch and feel is coming to the fore, isn't it? And we know he's got the power. Becoming the boss.
On.
Incredible to think that this is now Murray's second longest match here at the Australian Open after everything that he's been through with the operations on his hip. 4 hours and 50 minutes, the longest that he's played here, of course, against Novak in the semi-finals back in 2012.
$30-15. $40-15.
Amazing shot.
Murray.
Well, this is where the experience can really kick in, because it seems to me that he's saving some energy at times here, but when it really matters, he fires up still. Remember that. Remember the volley that he hit when he accelerated out wide a few games ago. He's trying to manage his way through to a victory here.
Put together with metal made of granite.
Can I use that? That is a great line. It's like the $6 million man, isn't it? Lee Majors.
He's worth a little bit more than $6 million as well.
$15.
Another miraculous shot from Murray on the full stretch.
I think he was looking at you then. He knows where you're hiding, Mark. An old buddy.
Can you believe he's found that angle from there? Berrettini thought he had the court covered. Murray with other ideas.
What an asset this serve is.
30-15.
You know, he maintains his nerve, doesn't he, Berrettini, on his service games? Really does, for all of his game, really. But after that sensational previous point, goes back to work.
(40-15).
Well, it's just a different type of art form, isn't it? And Berrettini so proficient at it. What a sequence of serves after that amazing get. And when you love something this much, it's probably going to break your heart a few times. He'll be hoping that that isn't the case today.
Fault.
Love.
That's a big 2 opening points, because my calculation says last game with these balls before we crack the newies. (30-15).
Every single point has value at this stage of a match. And that's why.
(30-all). (40-40).
It looked unlikely we would have this scenario, but Berrettini believed in himself, and he's carved out a match point.
Deuce.
It is hard to believe that he has missed that. It just needed to go over the net. What an escape from a situation that looked as though it had gone for Murray and he was out of the match, but he survives.
And after that backhand miss, Mark, and he took a couple of looks back at his opponent just to gauge
Murray.
what was going on the face of Berrettini.
East.
Goodness me, he's impressive as a competitor.
Deuce.
Fault.
Advantage, Murray.
Where there will be ecstasy, there will also be agony.
Game, Murray.
Murray continues to redefine what is possible in elite sport.
We have 5 games on.
Can Berrettini put the miss on match point behind him?
These players are ready. Thank you.
What a collection of forehands we've borne witness to today, but that ultimately was the best one.
15 now.
That probably was the best forehand of the tournament, given the moment, Mark.
I mean, the value attached to that opening point of the game after what has just gone on a Murray service game was huge, and he delivers that. Testament to his temperament.
30 love. Thirty, 15.
That was extraordinary touch. Extraordinary.
At 40-15.
Yeah, Andy was so concerned about obviously the umpire's chair just sticking out there that he had to sort of guard against it, but Berrettini robbing the ball of its ability to bounce.
Berrettini.
And any ambitions that Murray hopes. Murray's nerve will be tested again.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
He's been appropriately aggressive all the way through this contest, Murray.
Thirty, 15. At 40, 15. Murray. A 6-game all, final set tiebreak. Ladies and gentlemen, a 10-point tiebreak will now be played to decide the match.
Mark, I think, so the crowd are right behind this, another 10-point time break. I think Andy went to town on the couple of backhands that have been missed from Berrettini. Let's look at this. Look at that closer in this tie break.
Fault.
Well, he opens up the court for a simple winner in anything but a simple situation.
(1-0 Murray).
I think I'm correct in saying this is Murray's first fifth set deciding tiebreaker. As for his man he's playing against, the last couple that he's played deciding set breakers have been in 5 sets. Last one coming here against Alcaraz. He beat Monfils at the US Open in a 5th set breaker. Another beguiling rally from Murray, pulling Berrettini all over the court.
That was off the top shelf because Andy just stood on the baseline. He stepped into the baseline. He refused to be pushed further than the baseline to take away the time of Berrettini and control the point.
Berrettini thinks it's a let.
A 3-0 Murray.
And this now seems really big, doesn't it, Mark? Because he's been able to answer the challenge Berrettini when trailing, and this one feels a little different.
Four unanswered points for Murray.
A 4-0 Murray.
Fault.
(5-0 Murray).
is the one thing, of course, about the final set breaker here. It is the first to 10 points, so there is time for Berrettini to rescue the situation he finds himself in.
A 5-1 Murray.
But it is a healthy lead that Murray takes down to the other end of the court. And it feels a long time ago that he was facing match point and Berrettini with just the one backhand that he should have made to win it. His victory slipping from the Italian's grasp.
A 6-1 Murray. A 6-2 Murray.
In these 10-point tie breaks, you can feel like you've got this big gap, but really quickly they can shrink and things can get extremely tight. This is a huge point.
Fault.
And still they enthrall us with another quality exchange.
What about the two backhands from Berrettini? Just leant on them and accelerated the side of the court, which we may look back and cost him the match.
A 6-3 Murray. A 7-3 Murray. Eight, 3 Murray.
Stone cold from Andy.
Yeah, and what a great play at that time. Petch, hit the ball down the line, come into net, and test out the slice of Matteo.
it's hard to imagine that you can produce that kind of tennis with your back against the wall for as long as Berrettini has been, having had match point, and yet somehow he turns what looked like a seemingly impossible situation.
8-4 Murray.
Into still giving himself a chance of a revival. Murray tantalizingly close to this win. He so desperately wants. But how well did Berrettini execute the lob and then the follow-up shots from there?
Surviving, not with his weapon.
Dan Evans looking on. It's not just the fans that he's taken on an unprecedented adventure. It's been the people that he's played Davis Cup with, that he's brought along in British tennis, that are invested in him. Evans a winner over Bagnes, and he's hoping that Murray can join him in the second round.
8-5 Murray. Out. Eight, 6 Murray.
He never wavered. He's never backed down. And despite having a save, a match point in this fifth set, Murray finds himself with 3 match points.
Cain, set the match Murray. 3 sets to 2, 6-3, 6-3, 4-6, 6-7, 7-6.
An extraordinary match, deserved an extraordinary way to finish it. Fortune favours the brave and the courageous, and Murray has that in abundance, and he's shown it today. A welling up of emotion, I'm sure. A magical match. Another indelible memory for Murray here in Australia.